to start. And we are live late at night, live from the deep web. This is Jonathan Hayes. I'm here. And I have with me Cody Troglin, a.k.a.
Hey,
PZA. What's up? What's going on with you? How have you been?
I've I've been good. I released an album this past week and got good response from it.
You have soliloquy in the title.
Yeah,
It's nice.
still
It's
quit at the sunset. I mean, you gotta spice up your names if to get noticed. You know.
yeah. I hopefully an English major will notice it.
Oh yeah, they'll be like, oh my,
Soliloquy.
oh my God, this word is so sick. It's fucking sick, bro.
It's a nice title, actually. At least he didn't call it something like Soliloquy of a Requiem. At least he didn't
Nah,
call it that. That would have been horrible.
that's Requiem is a dream or whatever. Is a word that goes with that movie, and I don't know, it's just not appealing to me. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I think Requiem for a Dream actually destroyed any use of Requiem in
Yeah.
anything you use from now on. I see some Witch House guys using it a lot. And I'm like, come on, don't do that.
Yeah.
Stop that. But yeah, it gets pretty bad. Oh, those witch housers. So, how has the VW Volkswagen Vaporwave scene been treating you lately?
The vaporwave. Well, it's been good. There's been a lot of interesting drama going on with hard vaporwave. Do you hate it? Do you love it? What do you think? And yeah, I mean,
Well, real
I'm
quick
just what?
for my I said real quick for my synth fans, I guess you can say. Tell us what the difference between a hard vapor and vapor is.
Hard vapor, from what I've gathered, I'm not like trying to be like this is absolute because I mean, like Was X, Wolfenstein X created the genre, and it's basically like listening to it. It's like you have like a techno beat with some like vapor synths, like really dreamy like synths, and then vapor is more like taking vaporwave and actually like making the music instead of just taking samples, like where you're trying to make it sound, you know, like vaporwave, but you're making every like part of the stem on your like DAW. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's like original vaporwave bass. It's like original stuff.
So vapor is picking you up by your bootstraps and paying your own bills.
Basically, yeah, it's like more work, but I've been working on my stuff. Like, I mean, I spend 30 hours a week on, or 30 hours on a song, and uh, I don't know. I feel like I guess I'm vapor to some degree, but then again, none of these labels really fucking help me. Like, make me like they don't teach me how to sidechain. You know?
Right. Yeah, I think those labels are good for the guy who created it.
Do what?
I think labels like that are good for the guy who created it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean. It's good to speak your
essentially, yeah.
stuff.
I mean, that's like Pizza Wave, for instance. I created that, and that's what PZA is, and uh, it's just kind of an idea of this is what it sounds like, and everybody's like, "Oh, it sounds like Vapor Trap. It sounds like this." Pizza Wave is a mix of Witch House, Molsoft, Future Funk, Vaporwave, Vapor, Hard Vapor. It's a mix of all of that in one.
Right.
It's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
taking everything in the scene and putting it in one thing. And I'm always just trying to push PZA to be like the next, like what's the next thing for PZA? I don't know. I'm just work harder than I did on my make a better album than my last album.
so you've got the Tupac work ethic.
Do what?
You've got like the Tupac work ethic going
Hang
on.
on. I'm gonna put on headphones so I can hear you
Yeah,
because it's
put those
quiet.
headphones on.
1 second.
1 second, please. 1 second. We'll put this on. We will do this right. I'm not going to put on earpieces so you can hear my voice. Hello, how are you, the old JVCs?
Hello.
Can you hear me, the old JVCs?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, it's weird because there's a lot of chill producers. There's a lot of producers that just do like chill music. They're not even involved in vaporwave per se or
Hmm.
anything to do with that universe, and they make essentially very music very similar already. It's all very confusing anymore.
I agree. I think it's all just like turning into a blend of one thing. Like I don't think so much of like I don't know. Music genre is not gonna like I said, it's like it's just kind of like gives you the idea of what's going on within the music or whatever, and whatever you're trying to claim it as. But overall, it's like it's still not gonna help you to like throw phase on that fucking track.
Right. No, you're saying it doesn't affect the creativity or the technicality of making it at all. It's just
No.
and you know what? Here's the other problem for me is that there's these debates about these genres, but there's no strong marketing edge to them, any of them. So to me, I'm like, what's the point? I mean,
But
what is the point? You want to argue with hipsters, and that's all that is, because that's all it seems like to me. Because if you're not talking about how it should be packaged and how it's going to look different than someone else's thing or another word, then what is the point of talking about the difference between those things? You know,
there
it's weird.
there is no point in anything. That's the reality.
Yeah, I think it's an era that a lot of these kind of internet music or whatever you want to call it. I think we should call it Dozic, maybe something like that.
Does it?
Dozic.
I
It
like
should,
that.
yeah, it should be something like that. I mean, there should be a distinction of music made in a DAW. That's not just made in a DAW, but the aesthetics are considered while you're making them in the DAW, and the DAW is affecting your music choice because you have these abilities and capabilities to do things. It
Hmm.
changes things. It's how we get someone from the chill world making something that sounds like vaporwave, you know,
Yes.
and they don't even know the difference. You know, it's because they're making it in a DAW. That's really what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
They're not belting it out on the guitar like they used to. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, sir. Come on, get that Party Smith warmed up.
Mark Tremonti. Na na na
Oh,
na.
dude, that Mark Tremonti tone, dude. Run that thing through a Mesa. Come on.
Let's make our escape. Come on. God, how did that band get out of the gate? I don't get it. It
Well,
just
it's just one of those. It's just one of those days, dude.
It's right. Was it one, two, three times two equals six? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Yeah, it's a strange world right now. It's a strange, strange world. So, have you heard about the gorilla?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that
Should it
gorilla.
die? Should it live? What happened?
I mean,
What do you think?
I understand what they were doing. I think if they had the time to deliberate over it, like the internet has been able to, maybe they
Yeah.
would have had a better answer. But
Hmm.
I mean, they had they had 5 minutes to think of what to do while this gorilla is just lollygagging through water, dragging this kid through it,
Yeah.
and it's like a 450-pound gorilla. It's got the strength of a fucking strong man and a little 4-year-old kid. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good equation. You know, that gorilla, I don't think ever wanted to hurt that kid. I don't think it was that.
No, I think it was acting like it was like its like child or something from
Yeah,
the
and
looks of it.
its brutish gorilla body wasn't there to protect itself
Yeah.
from that. I mean, yeah. To me, people are like, stop looking at the mom. You can't watch your kids all the time. I'm like, I'd be watching my kid around a gorilla. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm taking my kids to the zoo. What the fuck? I would take care of my kid. Like I would be looking after it, making sure that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't be filming it. It
No.
would be.
Yeah,
It's
I'm just gonna sit back and film it while my kid's being drug around. Like that's stupid. I don't know. I don't think they should have killed it. I think they should have like tranquilized it. I don't know.
I think.
I like animals more than I like humans.
I definitely felt sorry for the gorilla. No matter what happened in the situation, no matter how I can see it in the saying that it was dangerous and things like that, I still feel in the end for the gorilla. I feel for the kid because the kid got drug around, and that's a memory that will probably stay with him forever. But but I feel sorry for that because that first of all, it was endangered. And if someone would have been watching the kid, then an endangered kid, animal wouldn't have been shot down and killed. And I mean, I think that the issue was that if they tranked him, that he might thrash the kid while he's going out. And that was the problem. Or fall on the kid. That's the other issue. 450 pounds falling on a kid. He's going to crush that
Yeah,
kid to death. And who knows? I mean, gorillas, primates aren't the most, reliable animals in times of stress. You know, they they aren't, and they're strong as shit. It's just the way it is. And I think it sucks. I think it sucks they had to do it, and I think they felt like they had to because they had maybe 2-3 minutes to figure out what to do. It's like, okay, we got this issue. We weren't ready for this. Bam.
yeah,
And I think it's crazy when people are like, well, the enclosure wasn't stable. It wasn't good enough to hold back a kid. I'm like, yeah, that's the point of parental guidance. That's
hmm
that's the point. I don't know, man. Animals don't follow your schedule. They got their own thing going, and gorillas they're not Bambi. They're fucking beasts. They're
yeah,
monsters. I mean, in
yeah,
comparison to a human, they're fucking monsters. They're
yeah.
humongous. The
But
strength
we
they
wouldn't.
have with them.
But they wouldn't have had to kill a gorilla if the parent, mom or dad was, watching the kid.
Exactly. That's my point. Had they not
Yeah,
had any kind of respect for the animal, to know that, look, there's no perfect solution if this kid gets in here. You know what I mean? It's still
yeah,
a fucking animal.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
In my book, and I think that they are fully accountable for all of that, in my opinion.
yeah. And people who are like, well, I hope nothing happens to your kid. I'm like, well, I hope so too. But when it comes to a gorilla in an
Hmm
enclosure, my kid won't be coming into full contact with the gorilla. That's how that's going
Hell
to
no.
work.
And also, why does the zoo have like gates where the kids can get through it? Like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I haven't got to explore that side of the whole thing yet.
Hmm
What it looked like, how the kid got through or anything like that. My whole opinion might change if I've seen that. I don't know. I haven't got to see it at all. I haven't got to see that angle talked about. I just see the internet being the internet about it. And
Yeah.
there's 50 million
You'd see all
opinions.
the memes with it. The new SpongeBob meme, that is hot. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen it. Yeah, I think maybe they're having a debate about hard vapor and vapor. The kid and the gorilla was, and then they got
Damn.
drugged through.
Fuck. Yeah, that's what the parents, like, the mom was for hard vapor and the dad was just for vapor. And while that was going on, the kid's like, well, fuck it. I like future funk. I'm gonna go hang with the gorilla.
Exactly, and that gorilla was like, I don't really like future funk, bitch.
Yeah. And the gorilla, no, the gorilla's all about Witch House.
Exactly. He just drugged it. Welcome to my darkness.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Threw some threw some shit on him. Threw some crimes on him.
He's like listening to Person while he's dragging the kid around.
You're still alive. Yeah,
It's
man, that
amazing.
was some crazy shit. That's some crazy, crazy shit. Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on, man, in the current event world right now. You got the gorilla going on. You got essentially the same version. The gorilla dragging a child to the water. The elections we're going through. And figuring out whether we should trank or shoot the gorilla. It's the same thing. We've got some crazy shit
Hmm
going on. So, yeah, let's explore this genre uh, debates that are going on. So, how passionate are these things going on right now?
How what?
How passionate is this debate that's raging?
You're like you just like broke up when you said that. I couldn't understand
Uh,
what you said.
how passionate is this hard vapor debate going on? right now.
Oh, dude, it's pretty intense. You have like you got HKE all about hard vapor and vapor. He's it like the Vape Council. Like, do you do you know what that is?
Yeah, I'm aware of the Vape Council and its schism that one went to the east, one went to the west.
Oh yeah, it all started with like this tag with Costco, and they just got into it and whatnot on in it, and then Mao closed the like shut down the Vape Council, and then you have the Vape Council 2.0, and then you have the Raw and Uncut Vape Council, which is like more so Dream Catalog based artists,
Mhm.
and the Vape Council 2.0 is just like a bunch of different artists from on different labels, so mostly like business casual. Like most all of their artists are on there. I mean, they're on both of them, but it just seems like a weird division between like these two labels, Dream Catalog and Business Casual. But it's kind of cool though because I mean, coming out on Business Casual on Friday, so
Biz
obviously
Cash.
you see where I'm at.
Right, right.
What?
I said Biz Cash.
Biz Cash, bruh, 87. Shout out to John Zobel. Hey man, what's up?
Throw it up, emotional shawties, 2003.
um, oh, I got the new episode of what my TV show's going to be on in like 35 minutes. I'm excited about that. Good
talk,
Television is the
talk
name
about
of
your
it.
talk about your television show for a minute. What are we doing here with this?
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. I've seen it. But talk to me about it.
Okay,
Tell me what.
I
What's
I
the
go
summary?
around Fayetteville. I go around Fayetteville and I just talk to people if they love it, and sometimes I ask people if they vape and stuff, and they punch cameras out of the cameraman's head. Bob would be the one, and
Do they
um,
really punch cameras out of them for real?
yeah, the first episode.
I didn't think I saw the first episode then.
Yeah, it was first episode, and we go downtown and we're just kind of like talking to everybody, and then we go over to towards Maxine's, and this guy's sitting outside vaping, and I was gonna talk to him about vaporwave. Maybe he knew about it, maybe he didn't, probably not. But he ended up punching our camera and knocking it on the ground and stuff, and it was kind of a shitty ordeal to some degree. But I don't know. TV show's doing it's pretty good. People are like whenever I was in Fayetteville, like I was around people that didn't like me, and like I mean I was around my friends, but then I was also around people that didn't like me, and they're just like, you could just sit in there with them and make the show actually good. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like the show is good, and like William Bob are killing it at editing it. So
That's funny.
whatever, fuck off, basically. You know?
So they had advice. Everyone's got advice. Everyone's got plenty of advice to give. It's the richest currency in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that like I don't know, TV show's great. It's fun. It's fun to watch because I remember doing all this stuff, and I think tonight's episode's really good because it's Joel's Jubilee, uh, something. I don't know if I can remember the name, but it's pretty funny.
So are you do you follow any news with MMA or anything like that?
MMA like fighting?
Yeah, like human cockfighting.
No.
Barefoot. There's a big talk between Conor McGregor from MMA from the UFC and Floyd
So
Mayweather in a boxing match right now.
who won the big championship?
Oh, well, this won't be a championship per se. This would be, I guess, an exhibition match. But Floyd Mayweather being arguably one of the best boxers in history, and
Hmm.
against Conor McGregor, who really isn't on that level at all in boxing, and it's hilarious. It's a money fight. I mean, everyone who gets in that fight is going to make a shit ton of money, like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. But they're talking about it, and it's kind of weird. It's very weird. Conor McGregor is this Irish guy who he's knocked knocked a few guys out in the UFC. Has some nice hands, but they just got choked out by Nate Diaz. 209. War Diaz, and he he's now tinkering around with fighting Floyd Mayweather in the boxing ring, which is insane. It's funny.
Yeah.
Want to see it? Definitely want to see it. So, what have we got? We've got a new album. You just put out an album before Soliloquy, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
like
it's
2 weeks before that, right?
yeah, it was on hang on, let me check the label.
You got 2 May releases.
Yeah. Well, actually it'll be no, I won't it won't be 3 because but I had 4 releases last month, and this month I spent a lot more time on my album, the Soliloquy at Sunset album. Um but uh that's why I didn't release so much, because I was trying to make like a really good album, and I really think that album is my one of my best albums like of this year.
It's got some strong tracks. It's got some very strong tracks on it. Really does. What was it called? Internet Music Scene, I think it's called.
Yeah. It's that was like I was giving my like, I don't know, my oath to the online music scene. That's a song for everybody that's in the music scene that's online. You know.
It's got some nice sound design. I
Thank
really liked
you.
it. It's got some sound design angles on it, which I really like. I think that's where a lot of people are going right now, and I think that's the cutting edge, is people really experimenting with good sound design. You know,
Yeah.
it came from
Oh,
this. Go ahead.
it's all about rhythm. It's all like that's the core of any music, and not rhythm as in like, yeah, I'm about to call out Telepath. I don't give a fuck. But
Call it out.
he, yeah, all he does is like, it's just like one loop continuously, and I'm bored with one loop. I need change. I need rhythmic like desire. You know, we all like, the idea of it is just like make it as like jazzy as possible. That's what I like about vaporwave, because it's like really turned me on to like jazz rhythm.
Right.
Even though, well, yeah, I'm making electronic music, but I can still incorporate jazz into it. You know?
I think that's been something long overdue. That's what made a lot of early '90s hip hop so good. Was all the jazz in it.
Yeah, exactly. But not like in the sense of like Madlib or like Jay Dilla like that. It's more in lines of like taking the idea of all these different rhythms and putting them into like a stream of consciousness of sound.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to like that, like to see whenever I'm making stuff. It's cool to see shit develop that you make. Everybody loves that, you know.
Well, yeah.
The evolution of like a musician is like crazy.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. I've gone through. I'm sitting on like, I don't know. I'm probably sitting on about 25 tracks right now that I'm about to release, and then some of them I'm going to release on an album. The ones I'm going to release on an album are going to have like vocals in them, so they've got to be redone and shit. The
Nice.
other ones are going to be instrumentals. They're all going to go out for free and shit. That's going to be my new model for everything now. If it's instrumental, it's going to come out in EPs, like just mass produced. And pay what you want, blah 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 blah. And the other ones are going to be where I put a lot of work into. Maybe some crazy shit going on with that. But yeah, like I totally understand what you're saying. I went through a crazy musical existential crisis. I guess you could say it wasn't a crisis though. It was just existential. I guess you could say. But where I dropped the whole persona of synth rock and just decided to use my real name and just move on from there. It's been pretty cool. Got out of
Good.
scenes.
Yeah, dude. You got to do that.
Yeah, it's true. It was a real like it hampered a lot of my movement. You know what I mean? It just did. It haunted me like a ghost when I would
Yeah.
produce. I didn't like it anymore. You know.
Well, that happens. I've been in like, well, I've been in like a ton of different bands and stuff, and so like, I don't know. I like the name PZA or Pizza, whatever you wish to call it. And I don't know. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I guess I'll stop when I'm dead,
Yeah, I feel you
and
on that.
then everybody will be buying my albums at that point.
They'll make some myths up about you.
Do what?
They'll make some myths up about you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You made
Dude,
you made someone
the
look at sunset in one day.
I wish I could do it like that, but the reality is that took literally the shortest amount of time I spent on a song was like 30 hours. There's like honestly there's a 50-hour track on there that I spent. Like and I was working with my new DJ controller that I got and trying to get everything all right and whatnot. So I don't know. I spent a lot of time on that album because I wanted to make a masterpiece.
Well, you definitely did. It was a really good album. I actually popped it on and listened to it from beginning to end. And it was a really easy listen when it came to listening to it like that, which is saying something now, because people don't. I mean, when you listen to a release, it's hard to do that anymore with it, especially from like scenes. You know, it's not easy. People don't really produce albums like that anymore. You know, so it was really it was.
It's like an arms race because everybody's trying to like, and I mean I've been a part of that. Whatever, like release as much like music as you can to some degree, and I do release quite a bit, but overall, like I'm starting to just want to just make nothing but masterpieces. That's all I want. I don't want bangers. I don't want the most vaporwave. I don't give a shit. I want this. I want people to say this is a masterpiece because it fucking is.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's the way to go. You know, I mean that you have to
Yeah,
get to that place though. You can't start there. You know, you got to get to this
yeah,
place where you have momentum behind you. And when you have
exactly.
momentum, you can guide it. You know, you can put a sight on it, but you got to have the momentum first. So yeah, I can completely understand what you're saying with that. Yeah, I mean it's very cool that you're going through that. I think you've earned that, and I think you should do that.
Hmm.
And it's a great direction to go with it, because then you're going to start having a real cohesive angle that can be reliable every time. You know, and people will know. Oh, I know who that is. You
Yeah,
know, and
exactly.
that's what you want.
I mean, I
And
just think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that all the old knowledge, all the old ways of doing things, they're not dead. They're not dead. I just think the institutions that used them went through sort of a death, and people picked them back up, and they didn't have the education yet to use the tools that were all laying around. And
Yeah,
eventually, people started to put it together, you know. And I think all the old ways of doing it, you know, thinking about fans, trying to build fan bases, trying to make a demographic, trying to hit them with the music, you know, with a big bait, try to get them to bite. That's you're never going to escape that, you know. When you start thinking about people just fucking talking about, you know, well, that's vapor trap. That's not, you know, it's not cloud rap.
yeah, yeah. It's always like I'm always being thrown with the vapor trap thing, and I try to fight it a lot. But again, I mean, I really love trap beats. I don't know how to produce them well. Uh, I think that more lines of like, I mean, just because you have a trap beat behind it and you have some really airy like synth, I don't really think that would make it a vapor trap. I think vapor trap was more in lines of, in my opinion, and I've released a lot of vapor trap albums. It's like and make like -7 semitones on the vocals, throwing a trap beat on it. You can do it all day, but I mean,
Yeah, I feel you on that. Any, you know, I don't think it should challenge anyone at this point, because it's so prolifically done by everyone. You know, it's just one of those things. To stand out with that kind of thing, you really got to be doing something crazy. You know, like I don't think, and this is sacrilege, I'm sure, to some people, but I don't think Blank Banshee could walk up in the scene now and do shit the way, you know, Blank Banshee was able to do it
Banshee,
before. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think so. I don't
I
think so.
mean,
I don't think he could just walk up and plop some shit down now if it wasn't known
oh yeah,
and
exactly.
get where he got. Not at all. I think he's way ahead of that now. And I know people are going to hate me for
Yeah,
saying that. How dare you? How
yeah,
dare
but
you?
whatever. I mean, people need not be so like just sad because because you said something about an artist that they like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I enjoy some
do
classic. I
what?
enjoy some classic Blank Banshee. It's weird to say classic, like 2 years
Uh,
ago, but still, like I mean, I
yeah,
enjoy it. I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to be a hater on it, but I do know that. I do know that that's that happens a lot in different things too. Pioneers are people who are never. They usually aren't people who can stack up to whatever they're doing usually leads up to. That's how it works. You know, it's evolution, baby.
yeah,
Like the
that's
gorilla.
evolution.
Exactly.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
I have
go ahead.
a cassette coming out on Friday,
Yeah, yeah. On BizCash, right?
bro. I just
Shoot,
letting you know. Sorry.
BizCash money, business casual for you casuals out there. A very prolific record label, actually. Putting a lot of shit. And they got a huge catalog. I have a friend of mine that actually released on Business Casual a couple of times. Flores. I don't know if you know him or not. James Edwards.
Hear you.
You can't hear me? Well,
No, I can hear you now, but it just like broke up with what you just
oh, I
said.
feel
It
you.
like distorted.
I said I have a friend of mine who's released twice on Business Casual. Flores, James Edwards. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
What's he go under?
Flores.
Hey, yeah, was amazing.
Yeah, I think he does some unique shit. Actually, I just think that he doesn't. I think right now he's doing the same thing that we're talking about. He's trying to like pin down who he is and
Yeah.
really come out with a masterpiece instead of just blah 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 blah. I think he put out 4 or 5 EPs already in the
Hmm.
past year or two, and now he wants to sit down and really get some hardware synths out and really start putting together some pop music and see what he can do with it, which I think is cool, very cool. So, let's talk about your place in the scene. So do you have people throwing shade on you in the scene these days, or is there some pizza haters out there?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say that more on lines of like the live local scene is like uh, not everybody in it hates me, but there are quite a bit of people in it that are just like jealous of either the TV show or PZA having an album in front of them or anything. I don't really give a fuck. I'm not sitting here trying to like make an album where it's, I'm not trying to make an album and be like, yeah, I got an album ahead of you, but that's what they do. I make music because it's therapy, it's art, and I really enjoy creating it. And if that's not the point of making music to anybody, really, and if you look at it like in a competitive sense, there's no point. The only competition in art and music and in life is you're competing with yourself.
I completely agree. I think music producing is a lot like martial arts in that respect. It has to do with your dedication, your discipline, your work ethic, and if you by happenstance compete with someone, you're still really competing with yourself. In the end,
Yeah,
you are, and that person, the only real right competition out there is people that push you to be better, and that's it. Not
yeah.
not people that push you to be prematurely doing things you shouldn't be doing, or this or that and the other. That's bullshit.
Literally, my favorite people in this scene right now is Young Balance, King Courts, Sea of Dogs, Mesh, Person.
Shout out to King Quartz, man. He's putting out a cassette that looks beautiful, actually.
Yeah, no,
Beautiful.
King George Ford is one of my. I talked to him on Skype, I FaceTime him. He's a really close friend of mine, and I really like love him as a person.
Yeah,
Um,
he's got great music, man. He really does.
yes, he does. Um, Sea of Dogs released In Search of God this year, and I think it's the best release of all year that I've heard. It's amazing. It's got it like an upside down cross, but it's like split where it's like a plus and minus, and all the album all the album names are Roman numeral numbers from like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And I don't know, it's a beautiful album. I don't know, I loved it.
That's something that's missing a lot too. Just high concept. You
Yeah,
know, high concept without having to tell some fucking story.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's like perfect. Like honestly, that album is so good. I really do love it. And like Mesh's newest album is, hang on, I can't think of it right now. I think he's putting it out on vinyl. I think he's like
Ooh,
hinting around it anyways. Because he put a picture up of it, and all, like I said, Mesh is probably like my favorite artist on Business Casual, hands down. I mean, Hong Kong Express, DJ Elena, etc. It just doesn't. It's just music. Like he's a beast, and I really respect him as a person and as an artist, especially.
yeah. I haven't really kept up with the vaporwave scene in the sense of like releases and shit like that. I just
Yeah.
never had the time. Ever.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot there. So
Yeah, there's
yeah, it's hard. It's Hard Classics Volume One is the oh fuck is the name of it, and it is so good.
it's so good,
It's so good.
so
Um,
good. Arrowed.
I just don't know. I don't know if he's putting this on vinyl or not, and if he
How
does,
ambitious if he does.
I'll cry. I will break down and cry. And I
Man,
can't believe this. The reversed Floral Shop album was on Tiny Mixtapes.
right?
It's hilarious. I love him though. Me and him have a split song. We did a song together, and it's called Supreme Beings, and
Mhm.
it's got a sample in it where Donald Trump's talking about how he eats pizza wrong, and God, it's so it's rich. It's good.
That's nice. That's
I love it, dude. It is amazing.
old Donald Trump.
Um, what a hot topic right now.
Right? I think, you know, he's the media's creation. I think I've said this before. I don't really know what his politics are, and that kind of I don't know. That freaks me out. But I've been on his page even trying to look it up what the issues are, where he stands with them, and I don't quite understand where he stands with any of the issues.
Yeah,
I don't. So it's hard for me to make a comment about it because of
yeah,
that reason. There's like I don't really know what he stands for. I know he talks about doing some crazy, shaking his fist in the air type policies, but I don't know if that's really what he's really going to do. And plus, our presidents aren't kings, so it's not like they're going to come into office and be like, this shit's turned upside down, son. It's not going to be like that. So who knows?
yeah.
Crazy.
I just do think Donald Trump will be our president.
I think if he runs against Hillary Clinton, yes, I do see that happening. I don't think Hillary Clinton can push an election against Donald Trump. I just don't think so. I think from different fronts, she won't be able to defend herself. I just don't see it happening. I think
Yeah.
I think the right is holding in their back pocket a lot of scandals with her, and I think
Bernie Sanders makes the most sense out of all of them, but
I
we can't have the one that makes sense.
I like Bernie Sanders. I
You
think
do or you don't.
I do. I like
Uh,
Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders is genuine, and I think that's rare. It's
that
hard to come by.
that's yeah, we're not used to that in America.
No, it's disarming.
Yeah,
It really is immediately when you hear someone genuine, you're just like, "What's your angle?
yeah,
What is your angle?" But I mean, you look at his record, you look at him, and you see that he means what he says, and for good or bad, he believes in what he believes in, and it's not a political trick. He didn't play the game in the same sense as some of the other guys did. So I mean, to me, it it's like that. And I think the other thing is that I had a guy from Sweden actually on the podcast one time, and he said this, and it's not the first time I've heard this, but it's the first time I've actually heard someone in personal conversation say this, that his politics is essentially considered normal to the world. that's
Yep.
that's and that Hillary Clinton is sort of right leaning, and that Donald Trump is off the charts. So I mean, but here's the thing: what is Donald Trump's politics? We're back to that question again. What is it? You past hyperbole and past a bunch of tough talk. What is it? I don't know. I don't know where does he stand on the issues. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I know
On
he
Donald
thinks
Trump?
yeah. I know he thinks
Yeah,
that
he just
vaccinations cause autism, and that's wrong. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he's just a dodo bird. He's the Cheeto head. Did you see that Glenn Beck literally put like crushed up Cheetos and put them on his face?
No, no, I didn't. What is it that old kook do?
Yeah, he did. Oh, he put crushing up Cheetos into dust, putting them in different bowls, and putting it on his face because of Donald Trump.
Oh, because of his tan.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
spray tan.
but why would Donald like why would Glenn? I mean, I guess why wouldn't Glenn Beck do that? But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn Beck. He's great.
I haven't heard that name in a
He's great.
minute.
You know what I don't understand is I don't understand. I think this. I think, and I've said this before. I think Donald Trump is a Rorschach test for people. I think people see like an ink blot test. I think people see what they want to see with Donald Trump, and I think he's able to coast by with that. And here's the thing:
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that? If you have that effect on people, if you have that effect on voters, why wouldn't you stay with that? Why wouldn't you stay pretty murky and nebulous and in the middle? And you
Hmm.
know what I mean? If that's going to get you as many people as possible, then why not do it? And it doesn't mean that I endorse Trump at all, because I don't. But I don't see why he should stop. I mean, this is how you win, and
Hmm.
he's winning. I think the problem is that we have this crazy media, and I'm not talking about MSNBC and Fox News and shit like that. I'm talking about bloggers. We have this new wing of the media now of uh, just crazy people, just insane people from both sides,
Yeah.
and they write these crazy spins on things. Everyone does. Everyone from both sides do, and
Yeah.
people unfortunately getting that in their news feed and Facebook, which is crazy.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know, it's depressing to see like where America's heading. Let's build a wall. What?
Yeah, you getting these people who are just like, listen, man, I'm a realist, all right? I'm a no bullshit realist, and I just want to get shit done. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you get
He's he
this.
he's working for us.
Exactly. You just don't understand. You got your head so far up the left's ass that you just can't hear the truth about what's going on here. He's going to come in here and shake shit up.
He's not going to do anything. He what like I don't know. I hope that like I don't know. I just hope that Bernie Sanders wins it instead of Hillary,
I
because
do too.
Hillary is like I don't know. She's just trying to like do like whatever is cool at the time to get a vote,
Oh, yeah, of
and
course.
it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's disgusting. Did you hear her hot sauce comment when she was on
Yep,
the Breakfast Club?
yep. She carries hot sauce everywhere with
She
her,
was like, hot
and then
sauce.
everybody was just like, "What?"
Right. They even called her. I think Charlemagne called her out. Like, you're not just trying to get like black people to like you, are you?
Yes,
And she was like,
that was
psh,
awesome. That was
Sean.
awesome. I am so thankful that she pulled that card on Hillary because it was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, she did this before. I mean, she's
Oh,
done this all the time.
dude, I mean, I'll probably get shot for this or whatever. I don't care. The Clintons are crooked. I mean, Bill Clinton, guess where he's from? Arkansas. Guess where I'm from? Arkansas.
He's from Arkansas. Yeah, I. They are. They're some of the smartest politicians in the game, and smart like a fox type of stuff. And they're the foxiest. They're the most squirrely, cleverest. You know, trickiest politicians out there. I mean, there's a bunch more. Yeah, but I mean, you look at their track record, and it's like, jam. Those guys got the game locked down.
Yeah.
They just do, man. They do what they do. They do what they want.
hmm
They're
Because they're part of the elite. I mean, it's if you're Clinton, you're like your dynasty basically. I wouldn't be surprised if like even try to like become politicians after
she will. Chelsea Clinton will
Chelsea.
definitely,
Yep.
definitely. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, she's part of that dynasty. Why wouldn't she, use that card? Unless she's a good person and sees the bullshit, that could be the case. But
I don't see
uh,
that happening.
I don't either. I see people that I mean, they love money too much. They need, they need to go get their 20th condo in fucking Puerto Rico, you
Now
know?
it's just you're a product. You're a product of that system. You go to the right schools. You listen to the right rhetoric, and it's before you even get a chance to think for yourself. It's already inserted into your lifestyle. It's something like that. I think
hmm
it's like a time bomb. It goes off in people's like that their head, and one day, and they're like, I've got to do this,
Yeah.
and they go and spread the same talking points that they learned, and that's just the way it is. I
hmm
went to college first for political science, and that was
hmm
that's what it was like for me too. It was useless because of that reason. It was just being taught a side of things, and more than anything else, it was for me like I got to see that at a smaller level. If I went to a much richer college,
hmm
I would be picking up exactly the way that they do business, and that's what I would be influenced by.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how it works.
isn't it fucked up that like all the fraternities and stuff and like all the rich elite are part of that fraternity, and then as soon as you get out, you get to have like the boss job where everybody works under you because you know so and so, and because he was a Pike or Sigma Kappa or whatever the fuck it is, that like everybody else who worked the same and got the same degree makes way less than this kid that was in a fraternity.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. It's absolutely true, but it's very ancient, and not from the zeitgeist conspiracy type of side of it, but more from this is the structure of Western society. It's been this way for a long time because we
Oh,
have. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. You keep going.
We have we built on the foundation of of the Greco-Roman way of doing things. And when you look at the ancient days of Athens in Greece, during the days of Plato and Socrates and Aristotle, you saw Socrates versus what was called the Sophists or sophistry, the school of sophistry. And the Sophists were not all bad, but they had essentially they spiritually they had the same system that we have now with our Ivy League school system. It's who you know, wearing the
hmm
right clothes, and it was that way then.
It's all about that polo, son. Come
It
on.
is. It is. It's all about smelling good, looking good, and then sounding good, saying the same points, beating. You know, the Sophic school was more about winning than it was about truth, and that was kind of
Yeah.
Socrates' criticism of sophistry. Was they were more aligned with winning, victory, beating people in a debate through beating them, winning. And there's going to be someone who will look at me and be like, "Well, what else are you supposed to do in debate?" And you're right to a certain extent, but it's that gone on to influence so much of our Western world, and
It's bullshit.
it is bullshit. It is bullshit, but it's I think it is it's hard to explain, but I think that there's a lot more layers on top of it now that have happened, especially since the 20th century.
hmm
But I think that in the first place, I think that was what I think that's what Freemasons were supposed to be. Freemasonry was supposed to be about. Was supposed to be about transcending that system and
Yeah.
having having somebody who aspired to be a learned person, a pillar of the community, and then raising up to some kind of power on their own through their own virtue. I think a lot of the Freemasons stood for that at first, and I think that's why a lot of the architects of the American system were Freemasons themselves. I think it was some sort of a conspiracy, but I don't think it was a bad conspiracy like people make it out to be.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I think you can look in some of the operas of Mozart, actually, who was a Freemason, and he used a lot of the symbols. The Mare de Figaro was about the lower class influencing the world of the upper class, and that, at the time, was an extremely controversial message to give. The aristocracy was completely afraid when that story is getting put out to low-class theaters, and people in the lower classes were able to see this message. It was a big deal. So there, at one point in history in the West, there was a big kind of backstage struggle with this kind of sophistry way of doing things. It's who you know, da 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 da. And there's always going to be politics with everything you do. So it's not like the Freemasons are trying to beat that system like that. But they really wanted, I think the saying, I might get the saying wrong, but the saying was, from one generation, burlap to lace.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wearing, one generation wearing burlap to the next generation wearing lace. And that was kind of their ideal, was having that system. And I think that was a big revolution, and it's easy to forget that revolution when it did happen. And I think it wasn't a revolution that just boom happened once. It was over time, and it's died down, and now we're back to the more sophic way of doing things.
Yeah.
And it always falls like that, and then you go back with another upstarter who's going to upstart it again. And it's never going to be one person. It's never going to be one philosophy or one dogma. It's going to be an evolution of things. Things dying and raising up and dying, raising up. That's how I see it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The 20th century really changed things up too. I think that's why we are where we are right now, not because of a nefarious plot or a nefarious agenda, but rather because the whole pot has been stirred into chaos. And it's anyone's game right now. I think that right now. I think it's anyone's game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's really that structured as much as we like to think it is, where it's just you're guaranteed something going this path. I don't know anymore. Things are a little different now. Colleges are starting to lose their influence on people, and people are starting to, have free education from the internet. I mean, these are all real catalysts that can change things on their own without anyone having to make propaganda about it.
The internet is literally what we have. That is literally our savior right now in this existence. Is what we're doing right now. What we're doing, like, even if it's posting a meme on Facebook or putting music on the internet. It's all so sweet that we exist at a time where the internet is like this prominent thing, and it's working better than I think even Bill Gates or Steve Jobs could imagine.
Yeah, I don't think any of them. I mean, the internet was like this system for researchers to quickly give data to somebody else around the other part of the world, and that was a lot of the usage of the internet at first. Well, of course, the internet being really DARPANet at first, it was a military use. But then when it really got used by people, civilians, I think that was the first use. I don't think anybody foresaw the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
No one. I don't think anyone did. I know David Bowie in like 96 talked about something like this, and he really hit the nail on the head with it. He saw the music scenes turning into exactly what it is now. Tribes of subcultures fighting and surviving and competing.
Oh yeah, it's crazy to see that like especially with like I'm gonna go back to the drama that's going on with the vaporwave scene right now. It's crazy to see that both sides like divide. Like Dream Catalog and we'll say business casual, but there's other labels on that. But the other one is prominently Dream Catalog. It's just interesting to see that, and it's just I don't know. It's weird. It's like if we work together, we make a bigger scene
Preach
instead
it.
of instead of fighting.
Preach it, man. That's the truth. I mean, completely. It seems like such a simple message, and it seems like such
Yeah,
a cliche, but it's really the
we're.
fucking truth.
I
It's
mean, honestly, neither one of like no one. We're not. No one's big and famous off vaporwave yet. I mean, it's a matter of time, but fighting and dividing the scene doesn't fucking help shit.
nope. It does not. It does not, and no one cares. That's the truth. No one. No one of any influence
Exactly.
cares.
Yeah.
No potential consumer cares. No fan cares. I mean,
No, and it's just basically for the vaporwave fans like myself and you. It's just basically for us to talk about. And
yeah.
overall, it doesn't have any substance to it. It doesn't help you, program like work on music, program drums. It doesn't help you do anything. What it does is just it kind of kills the scene a little bit.
It does. It sets it back. I know that much. How
Yeah,
much I have no clue, but it does set it back, and it's stupid because if you look at, I mean, look at hip hop in the '90s. What was hip hop in the '90s without these conglomerates that were sticking together
yeah,
and were rising up together? You know,
yeah.
without Murder Inc. and people like that. You know,
And then whenever it got big, it got to that point where it divided.
yep,
Vaporwave's
it
not
did.
big enough yet for us to go through that phase.
No,
And I
because it
don't,
can't stand on its own.
yeah. And I mean, honestly, though, it's like, do you think Dream Catalog's a vaporwave label?
All right, so that kind of inspires uh, that question inspires me to think a little out of the box with this. So, I mean, for me, I think I don't. And I said this before to George VHS Dreams
Yeah,
on YouTube in a comment, and I said I don't. Vaporwave doesn't know what vaporwave is anymore. It
it's
doesn't.
just
It is what it is, and I like it. I like that it's an umbrella now. It needs to be. It should
yeah.
be because it.
Uh,
I don't think vaporwave is the final product.
hmm
I don't, and this happens a lot in music. This happens a lot in the formation of styles. That the people who are so close they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see anything beyond it, and so they can't. They don't want to see it become something else or evolve into something else. But those people, they're irrelevant to the formation of real styles, and I think right now it could completely be considered a vaporwave label because you got to think like this. You can't think of like a dude with a fucking. And here's, I mean, I'm representing PBR. I love PBR, but you can't you can't listen to some dude with a fucking tall boy in his hand telling you about this isn't vapor. That's not vaporwave. This is not vaporwave. That guy doesn't matter. What matters is when you finally get press. What are they going to say? And if they got a hold of Dream Catalog, would they think it's vaporwave? Well, they would, and that's what's important. And that's the way you got to think, because that's the way the real fucking world works. You know,
yeah,
and that's how it goes. Because you got to get it to, you got to get the music to people, you got to distribute it to people, and people got to get involved in it to understand it, to become fans. And this incestuous nepotism that happens with these scenes where it's just masturbatory and it's just everyone jacking each other off with their bullshit debates and shit. This is what no one
this
gives a
is
fuck
this is
about.
this this is that. Yeah, it doesn't. It really just doesn't do anything
No, it's
for
masturbatory.
anybody.
Just jacking yourself off. That's all this shit is. It's
Yeah,
you can't be a historian for a 5-year-old style of music.
yeah.
You can't be.
It's not. And the memes, though, like some people say it kills the scene. Some people say it helps the scene. What do you think?
Hmm. I'm kind of divided on memes. I think for me, I think that memes is a double-edged sword. So I think a lot of people have gotten into the scene just because of memes. That's a reality, you know. And I think a lot of people have gotten into the music because of memes, though, too. So you have this
Yeah,
double-edged sword. You have these people that get in and shit post and that they just dilute the waters with memes, and this is all they know about things, you know.
yeah,
But then you also get the fact that this is a legitimate way to bring people in, and it's a brand new way of bringing people into a music style. And that's something interesting. That's happened in a lot of scenes too. You know, from EDM to synthwave. Well, yeah, sort of. It's a vaporwave, of course, the most prolific meme generator, and I think that I think it should still go on. I mean, even if it's annoying, and it does annoy me sometimes. Sometimes I actually go through strange existential moments in my life with memes where I can't see anymore.
Don't we all?
It's true. I feel like maybe my brain is getting taken over, so I gotta like take a break. But
Hmm.
I mean, I still do see it as a brand new thought technology, though, and I think that it can bring people into stuff.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like it that's what it's able to do. I just hate the fact that there are people who are only interested in memes. That's weird to me.
Yeah, but to me, those people are like the ones that are like, they're probably like listening to like Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and they shop at Urban Outfitters.
Secret Christians are.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? They're not that good.
No, I will say this though. That solo in Secret Christians was pretty sweet.
I'm just not a fan.
But I'm not a huge fan of Secret Christians, or Secret Christians of Unknown Mortal Orchestra.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of any of that shit though because it's old. It's
yeah.
old. It's done. It's tried. It's
That
fried.
scene, yeah, that scene's already like that Grizzly Bear Animal Collective. Like, did you listen to the new Animal Collective album? It's like
Nope,
this dude
I won't. Anyway.
watching, like literally talking about watching your heroes die.
Hmm.
That's, I mean, and the new Tame Impala album, that was so depressing.
I actually was involved in the indie scene for quite a while, so I watched it
Me too.
do this death that I did not like. It was very heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the last good indie album that I enjoyed was Mac DeMarco, and that was Solid Days was okay. Two is sick. Rock and Roll Nightclub, the best.
Yeah, I think people like Mac DeMarco are the last hope for things like that
Yeah,
too,
I
because
think. Well, his latest shit sucks though too.
man, here's the problem though. Where are you gonna go with it? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Where are you gonna go? This was the problem with indie bands in the 2000s. You know, you're not gonna escape it. Where do you go? You got to keep innovating. You got to keep making new shit. And
Yeah,
not just new material, but you got to take on a new angle. You know what I listened to the other day that really that really humbled me was the Flaming Lips Soft Bulletin.
hmm,
When I listened to that again, I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about this.
yeah,
And I remember like, man, what fucking happened to that? Next album, boom, something new. Next album, boom, something new.
yeah.
And it was these events. You could feel the ground shake when the album dropped. You know, that is what the indie scene is lacking anymore. It's just the same shit, and it's just pretentious,
It's
and it's preachy, and it's
yeah,
bullshit.
and it's like I really don't give a fuck. But Pitchfork has like made the indie scene like they used to be. 2009, 2010. Pitchfork was where we were all at for music.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
That you know, so it's sad to see how Pitchfork has even turned out because like people are religiously looking at Pitchfork for music, and on there is like Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, it's business as usual anymore with that, because they were a blog turned
Yeah,
mega
well,
blog.
they got bought out. They got bought out by Viacom,
Yup, yup, yup,
and that's basically the MTV now of like internet.
yup. Yeah, it is sad. It's very sad. I think 2009, 2010 was the last great boom. I think it'll happen again, obviously, but that was the
Yeah,
last great boom. That was happening. That was when we had a lot of different dimensions of music that was just hitting everywhere, and it was all good. That was when.
hmm,
Well, shit. That's when the scenes that we're involved in were starting to crash into things. And
yeah,
not just that. It was great music.
hmm,
I was listening to LaRue actually the other day, thinking of the exact same thing.
yeah. I mean, LaRue was like top shit at one point, and
Yeah,
then Skrillex was like, "I'm gonna take this and make a dubstep song out of it."
exactly.
Wah, 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 doo, doo, doo. Ding, ding, ding. You know what it is.
I I can respect Skrillex to a certain extent as a sound designer. Um,
Yeah,
but for me to respect Skrillex, I've got to really micromanage the details of what he does.
yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I can't take a step back and appreciate it though.
I feel like I feel like with Skrillex, um, I'm not really a fan of dubstep, so I'm not gonna be like buying his records or tapes or anything of his because it's like if you're not into, I guess, a genre of music like that or just knowing Skrillex, it's just I don't know, it's just boring to me. Like dubstep is like boring and it doesn't do anything for me musically. You know?
Well, no, I completely understand. It was the only way I was able to appreciate dubstep was if it was the background music to me playing Call of Duty. That was so. I mean, my appreciation for it
So
was completely generic.
you're a gamer. You're a gamer.
I mean, you can call me a gamer, but the modern usage of the term, I don't associate with. But because I don't, I mean, I'm not that, I don't care that much about the politics of it all. But yeah, I am. I've been a gamer since I was a kid. I mean, I'm an old school gamer from like way back when. So for me, like I've always been involved in video games. I actually trolled people on Call of Duty for the longest time. I was semi-famous.
That's pretty sweet.
I was semi-famous on Call of Duty servers for both Xbox and PlayStation for the longest time, and I used to fuck with people so hard. And I was never malicious. That was kind of it started out as a social experiment for me.
Yeah,
I wasn't malicious with people. I was actually super nice to people. That's
I
what it
see.
was. We talk like this the whole time, and that's how that's how I would talk to people, and they would kill me, and I'd be like, "Good job, take it to the top." And then I would like make announcements, and we'd be like, "What are you gonna shout out to da 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 da?" He's gonna go to the top, and I would announce their scores and stuff. I'd give a shout out to anyone who killed me. I'll give a shout out to da 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 da. I think you're doing a real good job, dude. And like people would, you wouldn't believe how crazy people got. People, you shut the fuck up, you motherfucker! I fucking hate you. There's no reason to get your feelings involved in this. Like, just try to talk people down from ledges, and I found out the more you try to do that, I mean, I made a lot of friends that way, but the more you try to do that, I mean, you just put a big target on you. I had
Oh,
people that
totally.
tried to I had people try to swat me. I had people that tried to like crack into shit. I mean, it was horrible, but it was hilarious. And I would ask people what their favorite sandwich was. That was my whole like byline was that, and I would talk to the worst person ever who would be like cussing me out like up and down. I would ask them like, so what's your favorite kind of sandwich? And they would finally tell me, and I would tell them my favorite sandwich, which was always
Dude,
my favorite kind of
sandwich
sandwich
way.
is a BLT on rye.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to do that to people all the time, and it would piss people off. I did a bunch of different voices with the same effect, pretty much, but that was my main guy. It was the nice guy right there. And then I did a British guy, I did a German guy, did a Russian guy for a while, and it it was fun as shit. But the console servers really started to change, though. People started turning to shit, and no one
Hmm.
would talk anymore. People got really antisocial. It was weird. But during the days of Call of Duty 1 and 2, that was the golden age. And
Yeah.
I'd listen to dubstep in the background on a YouTube playlist. Nothing I would. And it wasn't like Skrillex dubstep, you know. I would try to
Yeah.
get some like liquid dubstep, you know, something chill. And that was
Nice.
it. That was the only appreciation I had for it. So it was completely generic because it is generic. It is
Yeah.
what it is. It's like easy listening,
Yeah.
you know, for video games, music.
Music.
Yeah, it's video game elevator music to me. It just is,
I
you
can
know.
see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, just drink some beers, get high, and get on there and troll the servers. Listen, you know, that's
Whoa, whoa,
it.
whoa,
But
whoa, 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 whoa. I
I
know exactly.
couldn't seriously sit there and listen to it though. Listen to the sick drop. I couldn't do that.
It's a fucking banger, dude.
Exactly. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, I never understood that shit. During that time, the only like real like electronic style of music that I really got into hardcore was like liquid drum and bass. I got into that
Okay.
shit pretty good. Um, I still like drum and bass. I'll probably never stop liking drum and bass. I'm a big drum and bass fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that music is. It's weird people still talk about that style though. Is people still doing that? I mean, it's so weird.
Yep. It's still going on.
How? Who's listening to it?
Mm, like I think like it's like a teenager scene right now. I'm not sure though.
That's so weird. It's too much. I can't understand that jump.
Yeah, I can't either.
Did you hear
Only,
about Skrillex getting in trouble with Justin Bieber?
oh, they got into it.
No, him and Justin Bieber getting sued by an indie artist that they sampled for their song, and
What?
it was from that song "I'm Sorry" or some shit like that. And there's some vocal line that they took from hers. And what's interesting is that Skrillex put out a video on Facebook, and of course, got like 40,000 million billion views. And he was like, "This is all I did." And he grabs the sound wave and he's like, "I just did this and I transposed it here, transposed that, and just looped it." And I'm like, "You just admitted to doing it." Like, your court case isn't going to be going well for you now, man. But yeah, like it's crazy how people were like, "He's a fucking genius."
Yeah.
This is sad. It's a sad state of affairs.
It's yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on Macintosh Plus? Hate it or love it?
My real thoughts?
Yeah.
I think okay, so I'm going to relate this back to MMA.
Alright.
I can't help it. You know, back in the day in UFC 1 and 2, you know, you had all of these kung fu guys, all these karate guys, and these tough guys. You know, if you're coming on, come on. You had all these guys doing shit. And then you had Royce Gracie out there. And Royce Gracie was doing, you know, he was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he was pretty used to fighting people because he was doing it in his school all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had an open challenge all the time. They had the Gracie challenge. And he came in there and just made short work of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his contribution to MMA is completely invaluable because he proved a point and MMA became something because of what he did. But does that mean that Royce Gracie could compete in not now when he's old, but I mean even when he was, you know, in the late 90s and then in the 2000s when the game had gotten evolved? No, he couldn't have. He couldn't have. And I think it was like 2006 he fought Matt Hughes and completely got dominated because the game had moved so far beyond him. And
Well, I see where you're going with this.
yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about old Mac. I think that's how I feel about it. I can completely appreciate. So is Macintosh Plus? Is it a he or a she? Is it trans?
It's a trans. Yeah.
Okay. So is it trans to a she or trans? It is trans
Trans
to a she, right?
trans to a she. Yeah.
Yeah. So she
Roma or Romana.
yeah, she did that for it. She was like the Royce Gracie of vaporwave. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But the problem was the competition was what it was. You know, it was karate and guys and kung fu guys doing tiger claws to people. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't anything like that then. So I see the contribution, but I don't. You know what I mean? I think everything's moved way beyond it, and I just don't. I can't say I don't appreciate it, but I don't appreciate it anymore. For me, I just can't pop in anything like that and check it out anymore because the game's moved back past it.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially when you got artists such as, you know, Person and Vaporwave Will Never Live. It's like, I don't know, post vapor, if you will. That's where we're at. We're in a post vaporwave stage. Like
Exactly.
it's pretty cool because the sound and everything is changing up. It's not just, you know, it's not just slowing down a song, clearly. It's a lot more effort and work than just that, you know?
Exactly, and it should be. It should be.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how that's how I've always looked at music as, like, challenging. Although I did slow down one song and called it mine because it was a joke about you know who Casting is? Oh, literally like slowed down a song and ripped it off and posted it and got $1,000 off it.
No
And
way.
yeah, and then everybody, like, he got called out for it and stuff. I'm not calling him out by any means. This happened, so he's aware of it.
Right.
And so I went and slowed down his song and posted it. I was like, I want $1,000 for this.
Did you hear about what? Did you ever know what Karate King did to somebody from the synthwave scene?
No, what happened?
Some guy from the synthwave scene has harassed him since like last year. I feel like I can't remember his name anymore, but I think his synthwave name was Kirk Gadget or something like that. And he sent him a bunch of like pejorative comments to him all the time, you know. And his favorite thing is calling him a fucking muppet. And so he put out a vaporwave album, of course. You know,
Mhm.
the King got into vaporwave, and this cat like went on his SoundCloud and was just like, you know, whoa, blah blah blah. Anyone can slow down music, blah 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 blah. Just the typical fare. And so he took one of his songs and slowed it down and put it on SoundCloud.
One of Karate King songs?
No, he took one of Kirk Gadget's songs, Karate King, and posted it and was like, check out my new vape track. It was hilarious. And then
That's
people in the synthwave scene took it seriously. They were like, how dare you? You can't steal people's art. They totally didn't
that's
get the joke.
dude. That's literally
That's
what
hilarious.
that's what I was doing with casting exactly because it was just I don't know joke to pull. Why not? I don't know. I thought it was funny because
It is
he,
funny.
yeah, you know,
It's it's punk fun.
fuck yeah, it is, and it's not so much like I don't know. It's 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 like whenever you get to the point of wanting to release something or do something, and then there's like someone being like, well, this person just slowed down the song, and then it's like, well, they got paid $1,000 for this. How dare them?
Right.
It's like more lines of like, I put that song out as a complete and total joke. Someone was like calling me out. It was a So Sly like song, and it was a joke. It wasn't. There
Right.
was no seriousness about it, and I took it down after like people bitched about it to me enough, and I was like, all right, well, fine. Guess the joke's not funny to y'all, but I thought it would be funny.
Man, people are very quick to take offense to something, though. I mean,
Oh yeah, everybody's so offensive about you can't say anything or do anything without hurting someone's feelings. Like the other night, this is off topic, but this is kind of on topic. Um, I was out hanging out with my friends and everything, and I ran into one of my friends, and I made the joke, like I gender identify as a truck. Now, do you think that that's like oh, is that too pushy or edgy or something?
yeah, but listen, man, like you're completely belittling the whole movement, though. You know what I mean? Like you just don't understand.
God damn
there's
it.
there's people who are dying out there, man. You're just making sport of it.
Well, me, yeah, dude, people are dying on Tumblr. Tumblr's Tumblr's crashing because of me, because I said
Exactly.
I gender identify as a truck. But no, seriously, someone got upset about that and stuff, and like, yes, they are like, they do trans, like they're kind of a tranny or whatever, and they do that kind of stuff. And I didn't even think about it like that. I was just trying to make a joke, and then it got turned around on me where I'm like an asshole, and I'm just like, I was not trying to come off that way. I was
You can't
honestly,
have jokes anymore.
yeah, I clearly, and then it's like, well, you shouldn't make jokes that are sensitive to people, and I'm just like, I'm honestly just, I was making a joke. Me, gender identifying as a truck. I'm so sorry that offended you because I was just trying to make a joke.
It's sad too because I think there are legitimate issues and gender issues and things like that. Of course, I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, a joke like that's completely harmless. It's
Yeah, I mean,
completely
thing about
harmless.
it is that if that really like, if that triggered you to get upset to try to make me feel bad, you know what I mean? Like you're just being an asshole trying to make me feel bad for something that was completely like uh, I sexually identify as or I gender identify as a truck, you
Yeah,
know?
well, shaming is not a transformative process. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't transform anyone to shame them. It
yeah.
doesn't at all. I mean, to do that does not bring any kind of enlightenment to anybody.
No, and like trying to make someone feel like an asshole, that's you're an asshole if you do that. I mean, that's simple.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, it's a weird time we live in because like comedy has never seen a bigger comedy has never seen like a bigger resurgence. You know,
Hmm.
stand up comedy, things like that, than now. But at the same time, we're at this weird censoring place too. It's very strange. It's all very
Yeah,
confusing.
it's yeah, exactly. You have to like balance. You have to like walk on a. I mean, especially with my TV show, I'm always like. I mean, I ask the questions and I say whatever like whatever's on my mind, but also like I have to like I'm walking on eggshells. You know, I have to be careful with everything. But then again, I just don't care and I just do it and it works out. But that's always in the back of my mind whenever I'm doing the TV show is that like you got to be careful, Cody. And then there's another side of me that's like, ah, fuck it, because there's no point.
Yeah, there's a weird fine balance you strike so you don't alienate people, but it is weird all at the same time.
Yeah,
It is.
I mean, I don't want to alienate anybody. I'm not prejudiced. I don't give a fuck. I'm about everybody, and everybody's equal. Because guess what? We all die, and we all go to the same grave. So it doesn't really matter whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, and if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ into your heart, you're going to hell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you
So
grow up? Did you grow up in that?
I had a weird spiritual upbringing actually. So my mom was a religious experimenter, I guess you could say.
Oh, that's cool.
So there was a point in time when I was about 11, maybe 10 or 11, and for
Mhm.
until I was about 13, my mom became a fundamentalist Christian for a while in East Tennessee in the country. So it was horrible.
Yeah.
And that was pretty eye opening. They had performed essentially what it was an exorcism, but they called them deliverances,
Mhm.
and they had performed about 3 deliverances on me because they were for certain there was demons inside of me,
Hmm.
and I was like, I got some demons in my semen. Blah, 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 blah,
You did you like
yeah, I fucked with them. I fucked with them hardcore. Yeah, I acted like I had
sweet.
a demon in me and shit. And they it was pretty funny to watch people take it seriously. It was really weird, but they were one of those like pro censorship, right wing crazy people. It was
Yeah.
weird to see my mom a part of that. She was never that. My mom was like a protest singer in the '60s, and she was really like political and liberal and stuff like that growing up. And she always had gay friends and things like that. And I was growing up, I was very used to that world. And
Yeah.
then we went to East Tennessee, out in Rogersville in Hawkins County, which is like way out in the mountains. And
Mhm.
she got in a church, and they brainwashed her for a few years, and then I used the Dead Sea Scrolls to try to like deprogram her from
The
Christianity.
Book of Thomas, my boy.
Yeah, it I essentially deprogrammed my mom from all that stuff. It was because I never bought into it. It was always stupid, and
Yep.
I just couldn't buy into that craziness. But she did, hook, line, and sinker, and had all these like these books. You'd open them up, and there was like 5 to 8 cassette tapes in them. And they're all sermons and stuff.
Oh, great.
Listen to that crazy junk. And she'd be driving in the car, and I'd be sitting in the car, and she'd be driving, blasting one of these sermons and stuff. It was so embarrassing. Like,
Yeah, I bet. That sounds like my Aunt Dorothy.
yeah, everyone in the South's got one.
Yeah, oh, totally. I mean, well, let me think. Yeah, I mean, I grew up missionary Baptist. I was actually going to be a preacher at one point, and then I went to college and I got a degree in philosophy, and I don't know. you know.
Yeah, to me, I, I'm amused by it. I'm
Hmm.
still amused by it, but I'm not condescendingly amused by it. Like I'm not just like, oh, you idiots. Even though like, a part of me does feel that way, but I try to be respectful to people. I try to be, as
Yeah,
long as they're not, you know,
forcing it,
yeah,
for
these
pushing.
proselytizing guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's some crazy shit.
I have cousins that do that, and they'll sit there and like tell me that I need to believe or I'm gonna burn in hell or etc. And I'm just like, all right, like I'm not. Do you really want me to like talk to you about this? Let's talk
Right,
about you. You want to talk about Job and the idea of God making a bet with the devil? Kind
right.
of like,
Or
oh,
just
you,
just the inconsistencies. The fact that uh, there was no Jewish devil, and somehow this is seeped into a Jewish book.
mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's a lot of crap like that happens with
Well, it
people, I
doesn't.
believe.
It like gambling's a sin in the Bible, and it doesn't make sense that God can override sinning.
God
And
does what the fuck he wants.
yeah, that's cool, but I mean, you're not gonna practice what you preach, you know?
Well, yeah, I think the apologetics movement in Christianity are pretty funny. I'm very amused by that, and now I do keep up with that because I'm uber amused by it. I'm not one of those Sam Harris guys that just wants to debate people,
No,
but
that's like me as a freshman in college. That's like freshman philosophy.
that's what
I've
it feels
just
like to
read
me.
I just read Nietzsche, and I've got to sit there and I'm gonna go put down every Christian because I just read Nietzsche. He said God is dead. It's like,
Somebody hasn't discovered their Ubermensch.
yeah, what? It's just overall like going out and attacking people for their religious beliefs is it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, and it's not transformative.
Yeah,
There's never been a debate in this world where someone has done that and someone said, you know what? You're right. You're
it
absolutely
doesn't.
right.
Yeah, look at Richard Dawkins, for instance. Jesus
He doesn't help
Christ.
himself though. He does not.
No.
He does not make himself marketable though. He's like, but I think you're an idiot, actually, and I think you believe in a child god, and I don't like what
Yeah.
you do. And it's,
Basically, he's just like in like a circuit for atheists to jack off to.
yep. No, I completely agree with you about that. This is my, I guess you could say, position that
Hmm.
I do appreciate the debate position of the burden of proof is on you to prove something because you're saying something in fact is, and so
Hmm.
you have to prove that it is.
Yeah.
If you want me to accept that, um, if I said the sky was purple, I'm going to have to provide you some kind of visual proof that the sky is purple, type of thing. Because if
Hmm.
not, it's not on you to prove me that I'm wrong. That's insane. That's not how
No.
logic works.
Yeah.
But that's essentially my position on that. I'm like, well, you believe what you want to believe, and that's cool. But
Hmm.
the second you put this on the debate table, like you realize that like it's an uphill battle for you.
Oh, of course.
You have to do a lot more dancing than what you think you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
Um, and that's not pushing an agenda at all to them. I could say I'm completely willing and ready to believe. Just give me something to believe in, and
Yeah.
that's where the debate ends.
Hmm.
Because there isn't anything to provide. But yeah, I mean, I past that though, philosophically, I don't agree philosophically with Christianity, and it doesn't matter what wing or place or sect that it is.
Hmm.
Only because I would have to say this though. I say that if there was any kind of Christianity that I could feel okay with, I guess, but not accept anything spiritually about it, but just be like, well, you know what, you're probably the most friendly. I would say the Eastern Orthodox. They probably have a little better grasp on things, but still, yet, I mean, it's all silly. Um, but yeah, I think that philosophically, with me, like I don't particularly like original sin. I don't think original sin is a I think that's kind of a club and ball trick.
Yeah.
It's a by fiat way of inserting a lot more than the room that makes to, or the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, overall, the Bible is literally like built to just organize and keep people from like chaos and anarchy. Like King James, whenever he wrote the King James Bible,
Yeah.
uh, well, he ran out of funding for the Bible in the midst of like rewriting it. And they botched a lot of stuff because the taxpayers and everything. I mean, he was trying to keep his call it like castle and people all organized. So this was get this out there so everybody can read it. We scare them with hell so they're not like going out, murdering people or stealing or doing anything like that. And that they believe in this system. It's just to keep people organized. That's all it is, and it also brings in money to some of the worst people you will ever meet.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely the truth. It's first of all, the silliest thing for me is the strange reunification they do with Judaism and Christianity using the
Mm-hmm.
texts. I don't understand that at all. I'm like, well, there's 613 mitzvahs to the Torah,
Yeah,
so why are you not following them all? You know what I mean?
because they're like the conventional like cookie cutter Christian that goes to like brand new church or New Life Church,
Oh yeah, the
etc.
evangelicals. Those are the
Yeah,
craziest. Yeah.
like the Walmart churches, like with they've got a big stage ready to rock with my, you know my
Hell yeah.
my Les Paul, and
Our
then with
God is an awesome God. He'll
yeah
kick your ass if you want him to. Yeah,
yeah
the crazy stuff. Yeah. That's sickening. The
yeah.
music's horrible. That
Oh
music's so
yeah.
bad.
I mean, I played that shit in like what was it? The Ocean's Floor. Like I don't even fucking remember the song, but I just remember playing Ocean's Floor by Audio Adrenaline at church camp.
It's a lot of sus two, sus four chords,
Oh
notes
yeah,
like that. You know,
it's
like
all
those.
about the G. It's all about the E, and it's all about that D.
Yep, and you gotta have that C add 9, that G where
Oh
you just drop down the two fingers down to the C position,
oh
but hold down that
yes,
G.
that that
Every
G
rose
to
has its
C,
thorn.
that G to C, son.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just so fucking horrible.
What's
I
crazy is
can't.
that Every Rose Has Its Thorn essentially wrote the foundation for worship
For
music.
Christian rock.
It did. It really
It,
did.
yeah. What's really ironic that you're saying that was my youth pastor, Nathan. Oh God, this guy's. I don't even care if he sees it. He's a horrible, horrible guy.
Youth pastors are.
Yeah,
They
dude,
are. They really are.
dude.
And they usually fuck
This.
the chicks who were in their little clique.
Okay, all right. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to give you like a personal PZA story, right?
Throw it down. Throw it down.
I went to I was going to church and everything, and my uh my youth pastor was like adopted a bunch of kids and stuff. Well, I was gonna be a preacher, right?
Right.
He goes off and like has sex with his daughter and stuff,
Yeah. Right. Right.
the one that he adopted, and
Yep.
then like went to jail and stuff, and the church was divided, obviously, on like, well, he's just a human, forgive him, or like he shouldn't have done that. However, I looked at it as he shouldn't have done that.
Right.
You're a preacher. You should have some kind of dignity. Maybe just have sex with your wife since you have one. I don't know, just like suggestion.
Right.
Um, yeah, that changed the course of my religious beliefs at that time, I would say.
That's very common. It's very
Yeah.
common for people who leave the church. They
Hmm.
usually go through very strange transformation stories like that, where the human side of things, you know,
Yeah.
overpower all of
Well,
the.
I mean, I was like 17 and I was like getting in like after all this, like I was probably 15 or 16 when all that happened. And when I was like 17 and 18, I was like doing like paganism and like learning about witchcraft.
The Lord and the Lady, the triple goddess. Give it up.
Like, I mean, think about how much the cult is involved with like witch house. I think that's cool. I I,
I
I think
like it
that's
too. That's what got me into Witch House. I was, but when I was like 15, I was deep into the occult. So I
Yeah.
was studying like all the grimoires and
Yep.
trying to get all the translations and stuff. Because there was a strange revival on the internet around that time in the 90s when a lot of translations were coming out into
Hmm.
English. So I was able to get my hands on all these different ones. And
That's cool.
did all the common ones, the greater keys, the lesser keys of Solomon, the Gotia, which are the lesser keys, and
Yeah.
the sacred magic of Abermel and the Mage, and the whole Lamagaton, the whole Ars Paulina, and all that stuff. And yeah, I was deep into that shit. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, I never believed in it. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. My final diagnosis of everything was that it was essentially like the occult was like the ancient world's first stab at psychology.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think so. It was the first stab at it, trying to figure out who you are. What are you? You know, trying to
Hmm.
face things that you don't want to face.
Try to
Trying to,
understand things that you don't understand.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Hmm.
I think a lot of that was that. There was so many sensory deprivation techniques from Egypt and Greece and the Hermetics and all those people, and I think a lot of that was just that kind of stuff. A lot of chemical usage.
Hmm.
It was just essentially psychedelia. It was just psychedelics, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm down with that. I'm down for that. Um, I just think everywhere you go, no matter what tradition or whatever, you're always going to have people that are going to be literalists, and that's just the way it
Hmm.
is. They want it
Oh yeah,
literally, the way it is. But what is up with youth pastors in the evangelical world? There's some weird folk.
dude. I honestly like that guy I was telling you about that was playing Every Rose Has a Thorn. Like he was the most pretentious dude. He would be like, "Oh yeah, Troglin, why aren't you up there playing guitar then? Like
Why
why
aren't
aren't
you
you?
using
Why
your
aren't
gifts?
yeah, yeah." I mean, I don't know. He's just a turd.
God gave you that gift of music. Why aren't you using it to glorify Him?
Yeah,
Because that
GC and
secular
D.
music is negative.
GC and D. Come on now. You may spice it up with a little E minor
Exactly.
if it's a sad song.
When you want a little bit of darkness.
Yeah, when you want to provoke Satan.
It's
E,
true though,
e
man.
minor is so satanic.
that that I had to go on a camping trip with, and this was me as a freak, and you know, totally not believing or anything. I was forced to go on a camping trip with the youth group, and
Yeah.
the whole time I was doing the camping trip, the youth pastor was fucking one of the chicks that were there.
Hey.
The whole fucking time too. It was obvious. It wasn't like a big secret either, you know. And they were like near the same age. It wasn't pedophilia. They were
Hmm.
like near the same age, but still, yet, you know, he was hitting that the whole time in the tent. While we were sitting out here in the middle of nowhere with nothing to fucking do. Luckily, I brought my guitar and I was playing like Nirvana and shit for people.
Oh, oh yeah, dude. I did that at church camp too. Like
Exactly.
I would bring my guitar and just sit there and shred, son. Come on now. I was playing like the used, My Chemical Romance. Dude, I used to love Finch. I love Finch so much that my AIM name was Finch McGrizzle. Like, and I even wrote it on my hand. Like, I wrote Finch on my hand all the
Oh fuck
time.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, during that time, I was into a lot of like shoegaze and alternative college rock at
Oh,
the time.
dude, like Slow Dive. That,
Yeah,
ooh, Slovakia's Space Station. Oh my God.
I remember playing like Sunny Day Real Estate and shit like
Oh,
that. And people did not,
classic.
they weren't ready for it. They were,
Yeah.
they
Well,
were
I was
doing it
like
like in
playing.
circles.
The scene I was in was like basically Fuse TV of like My Chemical Romance, The Used, Take Back Sunday, Brand New. Um,
I'll go.
do what?
I was doing the first part of Helena.
Oh, got you.
That's still a good song though. I think that holds up. That song still holds up.
Yeah, it's pretty catchy. It's
It
really
is.
catchy.
It is. It is. All right, man. During that time, the time you're mentioning, I was into like the Appleseed cast.
Oh yeah, totally. Me too.
Good
I
shit.
was
Right
I
on the
was
Zim.
I was into like the emo screamo scene and like the like indie scene. Like I was getting in the postal service. I loved Death Cab for Cutie.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
it just like all that shit at
Great,
that time.
great songwriters. Great, man, fucking Death
You
Cab.
used to be. I mean,
Yeah,
Ben
yeah, yeah.
Gibbard. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, yeah,
saw
he
the
did.
Empire fall.
I did. I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a huge difference between transatlanticism and
What's their newest? I don't even know.
I don't even know either. It's got to the point where I'm just like, I don't even care. And that's what happened to the indie scene. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying? They still go, but you're just like, I don't care.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, we look like giants. I will. That song changed my life when I was younger.
Death of an Interior Designer changed my life. That was a good song.
Yes.
That was a great song. And yeah, I was big into all the indie stuff or the screamo emo stuff too back in the day. And
Oh, dude, Norma Jean. Some of those members are from Arkansas, dude.
oh,
Come
for real?
on.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, fucking oh my god. How about I remember Jimmy Eat World, shit like
Oh
that.
my God.
Yes.
Um, dude, I love Jimmy Eat World.
I did
Holy
too, man.
shit.
I did too. I did too. I remember when the Bleed American album came out, and
Yes.
that was a great album.
Yes, it
And
was.
there was just there's so much energy back then with stuff like that. You know,
And then didn't they have an album called Future or Futures?
I think they did. Yeah, yeah.
That was the one that was like, I mean, I really liked like In the Middle, that album, and Sweetness, all that. If you listen, like that shit's sick as. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just gets you, it just gets you so
It
amped.
does, man.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that's some classic stuff. And
Man,
then what else? At that during that time, Under Oath. Oh my God, I loved the what I don't. They're chasing safety, I think, or we're only chasing safety, or something like that. The one that was like more is super poppy, and it had like screamo like hooks and shit. It was pretty. It was interesting for that time for that to come out
I
because
even I even dug the first couple of Kings of Leon albums.
King. Yeah, I really
That
love
was
Mick Fearless. That bass line.
yeah, 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 man. I liked him all the way up to the third album actually. With that had
I really love Aha Shake Heartbreak.
Heartbreak. That was a masterpiece. That fucking album
Yeah,
was amazing. You know, I mean,
and
that really was.
they honestly haven't made anything better than that.
Nope,
I
nope.
don't think.
Rise and shine on you, go digger
Yeah,
mothers. Yeah, man, that
yeah.
was good stuff. That was some
That
good
was
stuff.
like did it have milk on it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
Salt to leave. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was good stuff.
I saw my fake
Mm-hmm.
llama. God, yeah. I used to listen to that all the time. And then like you remember the band like Cut Copy?
Yes.
God, I loved Cut Copy when I first heard them. Like, geez, that song "Feel the Love." That's what really like was like, wow, it blew my mind.
I actually discovered Kings of Leon because they opened up for the Strokes, and this was from their first album.
Let's talk about the Strokes, man. What's your favorite? What's your favorite song?
Shit. What's that? 1251? Is that what it's
Oh
called?
God, yeah, that's a great
That's a
one.
good one. Um, their first two albums really for me like did it. I like that stuff. Did you ever hear their demos?
Yeah,
Because
I've heard some of like Julian Casablancas demos where he's just like singing and playing keys.
I heard the Strokes' early demos, and they were like steaming honky pieces of shit. He dropped the mic at one point in the demo. You could hear it like. I was like, Jesus, how'd they get there? But then you say that they had rich parents, so.
Yep, that makes sense, right?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. They were well connected
Yeah.
to do that whole thing. That was when the whole New York art rock came out, and the
Oh, and
Yeezys and
everybody
all that.
was, yeah,
It was a
everybody was
mod.
trying to jump on that wagon,
Yup.
that sweet, sweet wagon.
That was so frustrating to do shows during that era
Yeah.
because everyone was doing like the mod stuff. You know,
Yeah.
everyone had like a straight tie on and doing shit like that. And,
Oh yeah. But and you got the hives, you got the vines, you've got like all the actually I really one of my favorite albums and like it wasn't my first CD, but I bought the CD and I was so proud of it because I was honestly working at Pizza Hut when this came out. It was the Vines Winning Days album. That album changed my life. I'm not
yeah,
even
man.
joking. I really enjoyed it.
Modest Mouse got thrown into that whole mix too, which was weird.
Oh, oh yeah, they did. And now like, dude, the Arkansas scene is like a lot of people are trying to be like Modest Mouse, or they're trying to be like Bob Dylan, or they're trying to be like the Grateful Dead, and
Make
that's
me
the
sick.
scene.
Make me sick. Make me
Yeah,
sick.
that's the scene here,
Make me
and
sick.
it's
And those
like,
bands don't make me sick. It's not like that, or those artists don't make me sick. It's just that the whole like imitation of that shit is so counter to what
yeah, it
was in
doesn't
the
do
first
any.
place.
It's like literally like you playing a guitar riff, and then you throw that whammy in there. Oh, you sound like Isaac Brog. I've already heard shit like this. I'm not like it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I watched Modest Mouse hit the mainstream, and it was kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Isaac Brock was like ready for what was happening. I think
No,
that he was more on the lines of like let's just do this and have fun. He was kind of like Kurt Cobain to some degree.
yeah, he was wild. You
Yeah,
know, he was reckless and wild, and that energy is what made Modest Mouse Modest Mouse. It
yeah,
was just that fucking just to me they were like throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what stuck. You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
and
And
that's what I liked about
Cowboy Dan, bet their best song I think, in my opinion.
it. So many fucking Modest Mouse songs. Jesus,
I
Brick
know.
Thin Walls. Bum, bum,
Yep, dude, Trailer Trash.
fuck yeah, man.
Lonesome Crowded West is my favorite by far. Like, great album.
There's so many fucking good ones.
Yeah.
But then as things just started to go downhill again. It's
Yeah,
just that
I like
third
that
time.
I do like that they picked up Johnny Marr for that one album.
Fuck yes, and the solos were so sentimental. They were so
Yeah.
beautiful, so
That album is
simplistic.
really good, I think. I think that was like their redemption album. Because I think like the whole Float On, Good News for People That Love Bad News, that album, I feel like that album it was good, but it was also like their like breakthrough album
Yeah,
into like music videos and whatnot. And then, like, after that, it was just kind of like, all right, what's our next move? Let's get Johnny Marr to do Down With Us. And it's like, genius.
yeah, it was. It was.
Because
Man,
I love the Smiths forever. Forever, ever.
The World at Large was a great song on that album, though.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Beautiful placement on the album too. Right after the whole,
Yeah,
you know,
that was sweet.
you know, all the brass shit that's going on, and then all of a sudden you hear that, just that Ice Age heat wave, can't complain. The
Complain.
world is at large, wash it out. Yeah, that was some good stuff,
Dude,
man.
yeah. No, that song is sick. And the guitar part to that was, oh my God. I honestly remember the first time hearing that. Do you remember Kazaa? Like
Yes,
the,
of
okay,
course. Yeah.
all right. Well, there was Kazaa on in the computer, and we were going on an art trip, and I downloaded that Modest Mouse album, and it just came out like a day, like the day that I got it. So we're on the bus and everything, and I'm just listening to my little iPod, and I'm listening to it, and I just remember hearing that guitar part, and it was just like, what? That whole album it was sweet listening to it.
I had
But
just gotten a breakup when that album dropped, and I had just bought it, and so
I
I
bet
was
that helped.
it did, it really did. You know,
I
putting
don't
that
doubt it.
album in, the World at Large actually was what brought me in. You know, I was like, you know what, everything's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be alright because guess what? We have way too many people on this earth, so I mean, you can choose to be lonely or you can choose to actually,
That was during the time when Fiona Apple's Extraordinary Machine came out too. It was a really good album. Always been a Fiona Apple fan.
Oh my God. Me too. And this is off subject. Calm Truths played in Tulsa the other night, and I had to play a show, and I missed it while they were playing, and it
Mm.
sucked. Yeah, you know.
Comtrues came through here not too long ago, actually. Played at a little club here, and I didn't get to see it either.
Just pisses me off. I gotta I'm PZA, so I gotta play shows and miss my favorite artist. So
But that's a good reason to miss a good artist, though.
yeah, that's true.
That's a
That's
very good
that's true.
reason.
It's kind of frustrating because really wanted to see Comtrues because I love Comtrues. But I mean, I played a pretty good show and it was fun. And yeah, I mean, whatever.
Now that's good synthwave.
Yeah,
That's
that's what's
that's the way
up.
it should be done,
Yeah,
and it is not done like that.
no.
It is
I
not.
mean, there's a lot of people that like I respect. I mean, to be honest with you, and I mean, I'm not trying to like suck VHS's dreams dick, but I think that Trans Am is hotter than anything Comtrues has.
Trans Am was a great album. That was a really, really good album.
Yeah,
That was during the days of when synthwave was going through a weird phase, and
yeah.
it was, he did something really cool. This is how him and I actually became friends because he endeared himself to me doing this
Hmm.
because at the time I was trying to start some kind of like subgenre of synthwave of like essentially it was like hard vapor
Yeah.
for synthwave essentially. It's like the same thing, and he's the only guy that didn't try to ridicule me for it, and he jumped on board and was like,
Yeah.
this is exactly what I've been thinking too, and
Yeah.
he puts out Trans Am, which is a hard hitting,
Oh,
fast paced.
dude. I don't like honestly. That's one of the. I don't. I'm. It's an honor to like whenever we did that show. Like I felt very honored to do that with him because I look up to him so much. That album changed my life easily. Like that was a great album.
He's doing something new next time, and it's going to be
I'm
some kind of
excited.
mystical thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what he does. I would love to get on like a collab with him and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Hey V, hey George, please let me do a collab with you.
George Dervinigus, we're calling you
Uh-oh. I just didn't want to say his last name wrong, so that's why I didn't say that.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get through it too at first, but yeah,
But I
he's
just,
he's really cool. He's really great to be around.
yeah.
But yeah, that's how that whole we even became friends was because of that. Because I was like, you know what, righteous, right on, right
Hmm.
on. At first, I was distrustful of him
Yeah.
because I was so used to the bigger guys in synthwave and what they're
Yeah.
like, and they always have some kind of issue. Like not everybody, of course, but like there's quite a few that have some kind of issue. There's a
Yeah.
lot of thieves in the scene. There's a lot of MIDI thieves and things like that, and different shit like that, or just dicks. Just complete like hipster dicks. And so like he was really refreshing once I got to know him. Once I know that he wasn't like that, it was really refreshing to know that you weren't like that.
Yeah.
And he honest to God sits down and tries to work shit out. The new album he's going to be putting out, it's going to be doing like mystical aesthetics and things like that. The
I'm
synthwave album
so
is going to be.
excited.
Yeah,
I
he's going
mean,
to have some Atlantis pyramid
I love
soundscape.
it.
Me too,
Whole,
right?
yeah, I should write Atlantis concept album.
I'm going to write a song called "Return to Innocence,"
Oh,
and I will probably
ooh.
have a Native American singing it.
John, did you listen to Person's song called Punishment?
I think I have. Yeah, I think that's in his album that he gave me mastered.
Dude, dude, yeah, we talked about Person a lot tonight, but dude, seriously,
It's okay with me, man.
yeah,
I'm pumped to release his shit. Like I've actually um I have an achromatic residue coming out, release coming out. I have two other guys coming out, Aaron Shadrow and White Cube. But uh I'm really excited for White Trash Warrior, which is a Achromatic's new one coming out because he's getting better every day. But
mm,
Person, his album that we're working on, it's been a pleasure to really work with this because he has such a great concept, and he
Yeah.
has a very good idea of what it should be, where it should go.
Yes.
And that's, and the new thing that I'm trying to do with physical releases is try to have something extra that comes along with it. So,
Hmm.
like Crystal Bear, the one synthwave guy that I've got on the label, we're working on a coloring book to put out with his album. And
That's awesome.
right, I've made it. I've made the coloring book now. I'm about to put out some sample pages so people know it exists, and then I'm going to be printing them out with every tape release that we do with his. But once I made that idea to do that with physical products, then I encountered Person. And when I did that, I was like, man, this is going to be fucking awesome. Like, I can't wait to make something with this. So we're right now in a talks with either doing a spell book with like rituals with it, or a
Yeah.
catalog of a faux catalog of all these different products that will go in with it. So, of course, you can't order them, but it's just this big catalog. So we're right now in talks with what we're going to release with it, because he wants to do this as like this techno ritual music that exorcises the demons of capitalism. That's the idea.
That's my boy.
You see what I'm saying? And when I heard that, I was like, "Fuck, yes, that is something I can work with." Now that's an
No,
idea. Yeah.
that's honestly everybody's like running to like I don't like Jonathan Clark person. It's just awesome to see how he's developed. It's so awesome to see these concepts and these ideas that he has behind like his albums. He's not Jonathan's not a lazy person at all with anything. Like I've known this guy since I was like 16. And I mean we're like friends in real life. Like he came to my show in Harrison when I played.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was what was really funny was my old bandmates in High Lonesome that I played with. They were all there, and we were doing the TV show. And I went up, talked to all of them. All of a sudden, Jonathan Clark pops up, and I'm like, I'm here live today with Jonathan Clark, aka Person, and then we're gonna like cue Person music during that time in the show. It's gonna be sweet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I put a lot of time into mastering the Father, What Have You Done, or Look What Your Father Has Done
Yeah.
song, and getting those growling vocals like pushed to the forefront in those and
Yes.
shit, man. It's been awesome. And I can't wait to make a video for that. I can't wait to release that, because I really do think people aren't ready for that shit.
I don't think
Um,
so either. It's like I honestly think I don't know. I remember the time when I showed Jonathan like last summer I showed Jonathan like the history of vaporwave and like we were all just like he like I didn't know how they were to respond to it and stuff. Next day Jonathan sends me a track he did and I'm just like holy shit this is Witch House. And I'm like, you're into Witch House, and he's like, yeah, because that documentary talked about it mildly in it, and it was interesting that he chose that over Future Funk or Vaporwave or anything. He went to Witch House, and I'm just like, that's so. I mean, it's awesome as fuck, and he's taken Witch House and taking it to another direction. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, he is, and it's to the point where when I listened to it, I was like, I can market this outside of Witch House and it still works. That's
Yeah,
what I liked.
definitely, you could, and it's like, I don't know, to me, I feel like he's pushing Witch House further
I
into
think
like
so.
what it is. And yes, it's even you can show it to someone who's not really familiar with or doesn't like Witch House. You can show it to them, and it's like basically they're gonna look at it as like electronica. But God, he's so I love that man. Like he's a genius.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to get this album finished and released and see how it does.
Yeah,
It's like building a robot and putting it into battle.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah,
Yeah. And this is one where I'm just like, whoa, you got some artillery on this one.
yeah.
It's nice. And so yeah, I can't wait. It's really cool. This whole idea of techno ritual music with a
It's
point to it.
crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I do
And
too.
it is what it is, man. It's vapor grave. It's
It will never live.
exactly, and it
I,
is. It is. I love that.
I love it too. I'm so excited. When you first said person, I was just like, oh, wait a minute. Just like, hold on. Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah, he put something on my deep web submission group, and I listened to it, and then I immediately threw him a friend request, and then when he accepted it, I immediately right after that was like messaging him. I was like, "What are you
Good.
doing with your stuff? What are you doing with it?
Can I
What
tell
is
you?
it?"
I told him this to do to do all that. Like, I'm not saying like I built person. That's not. I'm not saying that at all. Jonathan's built person clearly, but it's just cool to see like I inspired someone to like go out there and put their music out for people. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because he's seen me do it with PZA at that time, and he's just getting person started. Now person's at a point where it's like, go, you got it. You don't need my training wheels. Like you've got it clearly. You know.
Yeah, I can't. I really can't wait. I'm really excited about that. I tell everyone that I know about that. I'm like, you got to see this new project that we've got coming out. Like this is going to blow people's socks off. Um,
Yeah.
and I really do think that. I mean, I listened to the whole fucking when he sent me the whole thing. I was like, shit. I
Yeah.
was like, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to master this. I can't wait to get it ready, and I can't wait to press it and put it on something and see
Hmm.
what we can do with it. Yeah, man, it's going to be good. And
When are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do a PZA cassette
anytime, man.
on
Seriously,
Deep Web?
yeah, anytime. I'm ready. I'm
Do you want this? Do you want this new album, or do you just want me to make you a brand spanking new album?
maybe a brand spanking new album. We'll do it.
I mean, this new album is really good though.
It's,
But I can do that.
yeah, I can't.
I'm just
I will be
just gonna have to
crazy.
work really hard. I'm just gonna have to work even harder on this next album. But
That would
yeah,
be awesome, man. Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm way down with it.
sweet.
I learned a lot from the first cassette release, which was the whole point of it. It was supposed to be educational in the first place,
Yeah,
and now I'm ready to do this again and keep doing it. You know,
yeah,
I've got another cassette release with Crystal Bear. He's got some story that he needs to write uh, for the coloring book because he's got some concept idea behind the whole thing he's doing. And once I get that, like I'm ready to put the coloring book out, ready to put his tape out, which will be
yes,
in time for him to put another one out. He's doing a 3-parter or something like that. So I've been waiting with that one, and then I've got two other guys that White Cube, who's like a meme rapper. He's essentially going to. I mean, he's fucking hilarious. He he does like these raps about fucking the Beatles and O.J. Simpson not being guilty and shit like that. Like
hell yeah, dude.
it's fucking hilarious. So like he's just like he's like the man just wants space. So like I was like we'll do that too. Yeah. Well.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I've got a good roster coming up with people, but yeah, like it's been crazy. It's been so
Well,
fucking crazy.
I'll make you an album. I'll send it to you and hope you like it.
Oh, I will, man. I already know I will. It's you're pretty consistent, and there's not like one release that's where it's like well that was a dud, you know.
Yeah. I
You, I
always
mean,
feel I always feel like certain albums are just total shit of mine, and like just whenever it's just like God, I didn't make a better album than my last album.
because you
Clearly,
know too much. You know too much about how it was made. You know
yeah,
what I mean? That always happens.
I know.
You hear shit people don't hear. I
I
hate
feel
that.
like I feel like the my SAS album, the newest one. I feel like that one is I I mean, I don't know. I think this album is really good. It's one of my best albums or whatever.
It's pretty solid. I think I don't think you ever had a problem with quality, but I think the quality's been ramped up with that one.
Yeah, it's like I said, I released 4 albums last month, and this month I've released two or no, yeah, I guess it's two. And it's just it uh, it makes sense to spend more time on it than just like work a lot and then put out old music that I haven't released. You know,
Right.
that's a lot of it too. I mean, I'm sitting on still like probably around like 20 gigs of unreleased PZA music.
Jam.
Yeah, so I'll put shit together I think sounds good, and then I'll put it out, and then it's like, God, I made this like last year, last June, and now it's like it's trash compared to what I'm doing now, you know?
That's that's a lot of the reason why I didn't release a lot of stuff yet because of that reason too. Because I've
Mhm.
gone through. I finally got to a period where I plateaued, and I'm fine with that. But I
Mhm.
went through a period where things just were getting better every time I
Mhm.
did it. So it was like, wow, you
I
know.
don't even I don't feel like I have a plateau. I just feel like I'm just continuously just trying to move up. I don't want a plateau. I just want to keep going up and just like keep it rolling. Just keep it on moving, you know?
Yeah, it's good when you have the momentum. It's good to keep going with it.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I the thing with me is that when I'm producing music, it's I'm having to juggle so many different things because I teach uh, theory and guitar and piano and drums and mandolin for a living. So I'm always having to do that on top of it. So like for me, it's like when I have to produce, it has to be this very disciplined time set that I have to sit down and do it because I'm having
Yeah.
to make backing tracks for students or I'm having to like tab out a bunch of stuff or you know make this booklet or something like that for them. And it takes a lot of my
Yeah.
time to do that kind of stuff.
Or
So
bad.
yeah, it feels good to go through plateau when that's what you're doing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I get obsessed. I get obsessed with the track that I'm making or something like that, and then I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
And it's what sucks.
Exactly, because you get too involved with like your own music and your own like productivity and like overall it's just about like you like if you go through and listen to your old album or even for myself if I go and listen to my old album I will like look at it and everything and then I'll start working on the next album, but I'll be like totally against what that album was. Like I just want to bury that album on this one and just make something better, you know?
Yeah, that's a good place to be though. Always is going to be a good
Yeah,
place to be.
I just always want to like continue to improve and continue evolving. I don't want to stop. I just want to move forward. I feel like right now my favorite thing about music, definitely drums and rhythm. I think that that's the coolest shit.
Well, that's when I was talking to Ghost, one of the bigger synthwave guys, and when I was talking to him, that's what he was talking about. Him and Perturbator and Dan Terminus.
Hmm.
That's where they are. That's the headspace they're in right now. It's
Yeah,
just moving on up. Just keep going, 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 going,
yeah,
and you know, leave it behind, dump and forget it, and then go on and
yeah.
keep going up
You,
there.
you have to. I mean, that's the reality of it. Is just the progression. Just move forward.
Yeah,
Accelerationism. Like, go for it.
yeah. You got to look like. I mean, you have to look like you've always been that way. You know,
Yeah.
and the only way to have that image is to get there. You keep
Hmm.
working, taking every step to get there, because
Yeah.
eventually you'll just look like to other people that you've just always been that way.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't think everything that PZA myself. I don't think everything I've ever released is the hardest shit. I like. There's certain things that I'm like stoked about, and then certain things I'm just like, why did I do that? You know. I think that's everybody that makes music, though. That's like a general like feeling.
There's always a point when I'm making something when I listen to it, and that's when the doubt comes in. You're like, I don't know if this idea works anymore.
Yeah,
You gotta like power through that. It's hard to
exactly.
do. It's
Because
hard to do.
I mean, it's like it's the continuous like that motion of just moving forward and just pretend that you never released an album and you're releasing an album like this is your first time ever making a song. But you know all these things and you know what's good music and what's trash, you know?
Yeah, it's usually rewarding to power through it because people, you know, it's something I always tell my students. You know, I'm like, when you play and perform, you can't play for the 1% douchebags in the audience. You got to perform for the 99%, and they don't give two flying fucks about what kind of tone you've got and shit like that. They could care less about that stuff. Is if the idea is solid and the delivery is solid, that's all
Yeah,
they give a shit about. You know,
exactly.
that's the truth. People, the human brain cannot forgive timing errors.
Yeah.
Past that, it's all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People don't care, man. It's just the truth. I wish so many people would understand that. So many producers would get that. That what people really want.
Yeah.
They just want to be entertained. That's it. They
Hmm.
don't want to sit there and listen to what fucking doll you used and how did you do that. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, people taught like the other night when I played in Springfield. Um, Everybody was just so like fascinated with the SP404, which is cool, but uh, I'm not trying to be Jay Dilla. I'm not trying to be Madlib. I'm trying to be PZA because that's who I am.
Right.
And I would rather make my music how I make my music than have someone be like, well, why didn't you play an SP404? Why didn't you use that? Why didn't you use this gear? It's like, why don't you fuck off?
Yeah, it's there's always going to be people like that in the audience, but man, they just don't fucking matter.
Yeah,
That's
I
the truth.
know.
That's and scenes are full of those dudes too, because
Hmm.
that's how they congregate. But their
Yeah,
opinions don't matter.
I
They
know.
don't.
I mean, honestly, think about this. When's the last time you went on Bandcamp and gave a fuck about looking up the Fayetteville Bandcamp tag?
Right. Or
Guess who?
anyone.
Guess who? Yeah, guess who only cares about it? The Fayetteville scene, right?
Right.
And within even that, does the Fayetteville scene realistically matter in the big picture of music scenes? Not really.
I don't even type in L.A.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like no one cares.
No.
It's like it's just a shitting like Arkansas. How many people are looking up? I want to listen to music that's from Arkansas. Doesn't exist,
No.
and
No.
there's people out there literally paying money for paying buying their own albums to put in front of PZAs. I don't even care. It's cool. You waste your money. My fans are paying me for my music.
That's crazy that people are doing that though.
Yeah,
It,
it's just to show power
what
and
are you
stuff.
doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
it's too
matter.
much.
Overall, it doesn't matter because no one's searching on there. Like honestly, Jonathan, when's the last time you searched on Bandcamp Arkansas?
Oh, I've never have. it's it's
How
never
many other? There's probably way more people that feel the way that you do than like people who are paying for their album to be number one. It's
yeah, it's
ridiculous.
because at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't fucking matter, man. It just doesn't.
No, what matters is making connections with people and being a decent person and trying to evolve the scene yourself, help someone out and help yourself out. And it's like a fair balance thing. There's no like capital on someone. Like what's said is Bandcamp's totally a capitalist thing. Like if you pay it money, you get your album number one.
Yeah, yeah, because they care about the percentage that they're getting. That's that's it.
Yeah,
That's it. Even though the double-edged sword though is that the Bandcamp is like the only oasis for people for
it's
for, for
I mean,
musicians.
it's awesome because you can honestly drop like an album on there and listen to it as if it's like a CD or a cassette or a vinyl, where you can listen to the whole thing all the way through and like lay down and just relax and listen.
Yeah.
Um, SoundCloud is wicked for it's all about the singles. You that's why I put singles on there all the time. I mean, yeah, I have dropped an album on there, but I get better response out of singles because it's more single based than it is album based.
Yeah. Yeah, SoundCloud is it SoundCloud's one of those things that could be better. It's
Yeah,
broken. That's the only problem with it.
yeah, it's more focused. Hold on. I just got a message. All right, I'm back.
Message.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, I don't remember. Sorry.
It's
Got
okay.
just got distracted. This is what's
Well,
wrong with me.
that's okay. Well, with that, let's go ahead and cut this podcast off. And it's been an amazing conversation yet again.
You
This
know.
has been episode number 9, man.
Hey,
We've been doing
9/11,
this.
dude.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we've got up to 9 of these now. 10, we'll be moving up to 10. We'll get up to 11. We'll get up to 300. Fuck it, we'll do as many of these as we can.
Over 9,000.
Over 9,000. The
Yes.
ugly one.
Jonathan, thank you for having me on your show. It means
Yeah,
a
man.
lot, man.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Everybody, tune in. We're gonna be putting some new videos up here, all that good stuff. We're gonna be putting more
I'm
podcasts.
sorry. I know your name's Ken. I didn't mean to call you Jonathan because we were talking about Jonathan.
Oh no, my name is Jonathan. It's just that that was my my artist persona at one time.
I was
But
Kenson. I'm
yeah,
an idiot.
I
You're
put him
Jonathan
to death
Hayes.
though. He's been put to death. He was dropped in Nevada acid because he
He's
went
he's
a la.
he's done,
He's
and now
done.
Jonathan Hayes is running around, living it.
It's true. It's true. Actually, that's the most apt description you could say.
You're living
It's the
it.
truth. It is. It is. Yeah, yeah. There's going to be a lot of releases from me very soon now because of that. I'm kind of liberated from all of that. So now
Mm,
it's just now I can go through my catalog and be like, well, let's put that out now. That wasn't particularly synth
hmm
based, but now I can do it. So that's really cool. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going for that. Well, man, like I said, it's been an amazing conversation. We will definitely be doing this again. I'd like to get you in person, Jonathan Clark, on the podcast sometime. And, of course, maybe we can do another duo with you and George Dervinikus,
Dude,
VHS Video Games.
if we could get George and Jonathan,
That'd be a mega cast. I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't at all.
talk about a dream team.
That'd be great. I would
I
love that.
know.
I'll be happy
Uh,
to talk to everybody about that one.
uh,
Everybody,
I'm I'm on board. You know I am.
we can pull that off. That'd be great.
I think we could. I think it's reasonable.
I think so. I mean, George would be down for it. So
I think Jonathan would be down for. We just gotta, if he's not asleep, you know.
he's a sleeper.
He's sleeping. That boy sleeps.
I am no sleeper.
I don't either. Fuck sleep, dude.
Fuck it too. All right, man. It's been
All
an
right.
amazing time. I love talking to you. Love having you on the podcast. We will be definitely doing this again. Stay tuned for episode 10. I have no clue who's going to be on yet, but stay
Well,
tuned for all of it. Everyone, signing out. Take it easy.